Growing up, one of the things my dad and I did is that we would watch sports together. And so in the mornings, we would watch Sports Center. And some of the most memorable things that I've watched with my dad have not just been the game-winning things or the highlights, but in part of the highlights, it's when a player or coach gets ejected, because you can really feel the emotion that's going on. And so I'm thinking, now I wasn't alive for this, but my dad tells me this story and he brings it up often, is in 1985, Coach Bob Knight of the Indiana Hoosiers threw a chair. It's like 5 minutes into the game. He gets a technical and he's getting ready to get thrown out, and he takes his chair that he was sitting on and he just throws it across the court. And I remember I've seen, in baseball, if someone gets hit by a pitch, what happens? The dugout's clear, there might be a brawl, someone gets ejected. I'm pretty sure I saw a highlight once of a baseball coach throwing a trash can at an umpire just because. I've seen them throw bases, they yell, they get in your face, and they get ejected. Their emotion gets the best of them. They become angry, and so they have outward expressions of anger where they're yelling, they're throwing chairs, they're throwing bases. And is that helpful for their team in that moment? Most of the time, no. Some of the time, that anger can be used to rally the team and to motivate them to play for the coach. But that's not always helpful. When it comes to anger, which is an emotion we all feel, there are all different things that make different people angry. What made Bob Knight angry to get a technical and then throw a chair, that might not make me angry in that moment. It might, but it might not. Anger is different for each and every person, and each and every person expresses that anger differently. But what we need to know is whether the anger that we're feeling, that it's going to be expressed, is it helpful or is it harmful? Because in James chapter 4, verse 1, it tells us that our anger is not always helpful. That our anger, what causes quarrels among you, James writes, but it's from the evil desires of our heart. And so if our anger is being caused by the evil desires of our heart, then most of the time it's going to be harmful to others and harmful to ourselves and not helpful. And so what we need to do is we need to take a step back and say, hey, is my anger, is it expressing it going to be harmful to myself or others, or is it going to be helpful? Because anger is not always bad. Anger can be good. And a helpful anger might motivate us to do something that we know we should do. If someone's getting bullied at school, that anger of seeing someone else get picked on might motivate us to take action and to step in and to help somebody else. And so we need to take a step back, pause, breathe, and figure out what is the best way to respond in my anger. And so that's one action step. We also need to be honest, because anger, there's often a lot of things behind anger. And so is our anger being caused by fear, embarrassment, disrespect, or jealousy? What is causing my anger? And so be honest and taking that time to figure out what is causing my anger. Because if it's caused by jealousy, then that anger is probably going to be harmful and not helpful. Okay? And then also we need to own our responsibility, that when we become angry and we have outward expressions of anger, we need to take responsibility for our actions. Say, you know what? I let my anger get the best of me, and that was not the way God wanted me to respond. Anger is an emotion we all have, and it's not always bad, but it can be bad when we let it. And so we need to be mindful of, is our anger going to be helpful? Is it going to be harmful? And is it going to control us? We need to control how we respond and respond in a way that is pleasing and honoring to God, and that is helpful and not harmful. Take care, friends. We'll see you next time.